พระสมเด็จวัดบางขนพรหมพิมพ์เกตทะลุสม from the 2509 BE world famous edition, very expensive series, the 2509 BE series. So this is the Pim Gate Talo Sum, which means the top knot here. You can see here pierces the arch down here. And so it's 2509 BE Pim Gate Talo Sum. This here will be the Pra Somdej Bang Khun Prohm 2509 BE, also Pim Gate Talo Sum. Slightly different tonality to it, to show how not every amulet has exactly the same tonality and color. Photographs anyway always change the actual natural color and are slightly distorted. It's very difficult to catch the natural color in a photograph. Also Pim Gate Talo Sum, you can see here the pra gate, the top knot and the spike here just piercing the arch. Gate, it's the gate. Talo means to pass through or to penetrate, and sum means this arch. So gate talo sum. You can see this has hooting thingy also, these droopy ears. You can see the stamp on the back, and it's important to also notice the texture of these slight from shrinkage and from the pressing of the amulets, this texture and slight from contraction crevices. This is again a Pra Somdej Wat Bang Khun Prohm from 2534 BE from the Udom Mongkon edition, which, as you can see, has pieces of broken pieces of original Pra Somdej Wat Bang Khun Prohm from the 2540 BE opening of the chamber in the Chedi Gao, the large Chedi stupa of Wat Bang Khun Prohm, to find the hidden amulets of Somdej Pabudajanto, which had been placed there at that time, some 60 years, I'm not sure, so more than half a century before, or even earlier. And so this is the Udom Mongkon edition from 2534 BE, and very beautiful for these Shin Patat or Shin Son Pat Chamrut Bang Khun Prohm, all pieces of Bang Khun Prohm amulet of Somdej Pabudajanto from SIC Wat Rakang, broken up inside it. And this amulet is a Pra Somdej Wat Bang Khun Prohm Pim Song Chedi, Pim Chedi, also from the Udom Mongkon edition, which we were just looking at. You can see this one seems to have a more pinkish tone to it, which it will probably have a very slightly pinkish tone perhaps, but I would say the photograph has probably reflected purple from some wallpaper in the room or whatever was in the room when it was photographed, so it looks a bit more purple than it probably is in real life. And this is a Pim Song Chedi. Pim Song Chedi, this is a Chedi, the stamp of the Bang Khun Prohm rubber ink stamp shows the Chedi. So that's to explain what a Chedi is, the stupa, the relic stupa. These are conical pyramidic shaped things in Thai temples. So if you would say, yes, I know the Pra Somdej Pim Yai, the Pra Somdej Pim Yai, I know already. Pim Papatan, the famous Pra Somdej that everybody knows. What's different here? Why is this different from the Pim Papatan? That's easy. Is because the line here, if you follow the line here along the side of the dais up to the peak of the spire. If it's a straight line, like a triangle, then it's called the Pim Song Chedi, whereas the Pim Yai, the dais is a bit wider, and it doesn't follow a straight line all the way up to the center of the spire of the head of the Buddha, like this does. It's almost like an isosceles triangle, and that's the main difference of what makes this a Pim Song Chedi from the Udom Mongkon edition, Wat Bang Khun Prohm. And this is a Pra Somdej Wat Rakang 100 ปี Pim Khai Pla Lươn. This is a very rare one. It's a Pra Somdej Wat Rakang from the 100 years anniversary edition. Also very, very famous, expensive and very rare, and hard to find anybody to convince to sell one. Collected not only in Thailand, Singaporeans and Malaysians and the people in Southeast Asia really collect this amulet. So it's not only rare, it carries quite a expensive market price. It's affordable for anybody who can save up a little bit. It's not completely beyond purchase. It's not yet for millionaires only, so most people with a bit of saving up and a bit of self-sacrifice could afford to get one, but they are not cheap. And this Pim is the Pim Khai Pla Lươn, which is quite rare and very beautiful. 100 years anniversary edition. Pra Somdej Wat Rakang, not Wat Bang Khun Prohm Wat Rakang. Here we have also one more Pra Somdej Wat Rakang 100 ปี 100 years anniversary. This is a Pim Yai Niyom. Pim Yai. So if you remember, I was just talking about the Pim Song Chedi and how I followed the line in a triangle. If you follow the line here, it completely bypasses the head of the Buddha and ends up here. It doesn't end up in the center. It doesn't follow a line from the center down the dais. It follows the line from outside. And so, also a bit steeper. Yeah, it's more steep. And that's why it's a Pim Yai. Otherwise, they're very similar, the Pim Song Chedi and the Pim Yai. You can see this is a Wat Rakang because the border here, the square frame and the arch. It's actually quite interesting, this Pim, where the arch overlaps here into the edges of the frame. That's probably the shadow of this gold frame actually causing an illusion. Most definitely, in fact. So this is a Pra Somdej Wat Rakang Pim Yai Niyom of the 100 years anniversary edition. Also take note of the rear face, the aspects of the rear face. And this what you see, this crab bang pong putakon. This slowly rises up. It likes to rise up in these recesses, here, and become a very fine, but very hard to clean off. You can't scrape it off. Very fine talc-like powder will form, which is a sign of authenticity, and how much it's there and how hard it is tells you about the aging too of the amulet. So that's something to also try to get under the eye loop and study. And this amulet is a Pra Somdej Wat Rakang Sao Ha edition from 2536 BE, also a Pim Gate Talot Sum, which being a very clear Pim with Dak Lai Nga, with the crackled sesame seed, or I would say broken tile effect, but they call it Dak Lai Nga, a sesame seed pattern effect, sesame pattern. Very similar somewhat to the amulets, the Somdej Gaisa of Wat Arun, the Temple of the Dawn, like this kind of Muonsan clay also. And so this is a very clear-cut Pim model using this kind of clay. And so you can demonstrate this Pim Gate Talot Som, Gate, the top knot, Talot, piercing, Som, the arch. You can see the top of the top knot here actually has pierced through the top of the arch, which gives the Pim, its name. Notice the very thin matchstick, almost non-present Pra, the neck, and that the head of the Buddha is like an alms bowl, very round, like a round matchstick, like an alms bowl. And notice this, even in this Pim Somdej Wat Rakang, this armpit is always higher than this armpit, is always deeper and higher. And this side of the arch is always closer to the edge of the amulet than this side of the arch is to the edge of the amulet. You will almost always see that. And you will see Jiwon, a Chai Jiwon, a piece of his Jivara robe here connecting from his knee to his elbow, and not on this side. You'll see that on every Wat Rakang. So you can see here the Jiwon coming through. You can see this armpit is higher. Yeah. So that's something you will see on the all Wat Rakang. This also higher armpit. This also closer to the edge. And so there's, you can see this ink stamp. So this is Auha 2536B, and you can see how clear and still new the clay is. It hasn't begun to take on something that's a few decades older, like this begins to take on the aspects of aging. Yeah. Some piercing the arch. Okay, so there's a couple of nice famous clear-cut pictures of famous editions of the Pra Somdej Wat Rakang and the Pra Somdej Wat Bang Khun Prohm, which I thought I would show you for your enjoyment and make a few basic remarks on. And so here is Ajarn Spencer, this time always for the Buddha Magic Project and for this particular recording for Amulets TV. Signing off.